Alright everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. A little bit of deja vu going on here as we got Clown right back on the Ormond Lake Mine. Now we have a little bit of a palate cleanse. We know what to expect potentially, and so we'll see how these two teams perform. Is it going to be Vicinal versus Despair? I'm yours once again, Little Rugard, and joining me today is now Julia Conda. Are you ready, friend?
I am kind of interested to see how Clown works on this map. There's a lot of filler palettes, a lot of somewhat unsafe filler palettes, which is definitely... Ooh, and a head-on coming through from our ace player. I think we're going to be swapping targets now from Rebecca to ace, and that is going to be one of the only god palettes on this map dropped, and chase onto ace. I think he actually makes some other palettes in main, though.
Oh, I don't think they expect him to swing through the pallet, and they will take a tag for their efforts. Didn't make a lot of distance after throwing that. And like you said, not a lot of safe pallets here, so on out. Really good use of the bottles, too. They're doing a really good job. Okay, are we just dancing at this pallet here?
Yeah, he's just going to have to play some risky 50-50s here, and I think he's going to go down for it. Yeah, he did not win that one, unfortunately. First tuck of the game.
Yep, first are coming in. Survivor's doubling up on one gen. Pain Res is going to hit it. And Clown's got to reload. We see two different gens being worked on, and pretty par the course. We saw the in the previous game or the previous match, the first set was the same thing, same killer, same map, and the first chase went pretty swimmingly for the killer, all things considered. And then it's just a matter of the survivors how they react to it afterward. Oh my goodness, that hit! Oh, I don't play Survivor hardly anymore, and I feel bad for them. But unhook coming in nonetheless. Gonna be heading straight back to the kill or to the unhook. Worth noting, no sloppy butcher. I do like the choice of brutal strength though. How do you feel about brutal strength on this map?
I like it. There's a lot of palettes in this map. I feel like a lot of them you can definitely play around without kicking the pallet though. So I hope Autumn uses that perk wisely and doesn't just kick every single pallet, because we're going to be chewing through a lot of pallets if we choose to do that. But I think we might have actually lost our tunnel out here, Rue. I think Autumn was looking for our ace, potentially, and maybe the savior, but doesn't seem to find them anywhere. We do see Meg, Nancy, kind of in the map somewhere. I'm not totally sure. Yeah, he's going to be on Nancy now. I think we might have lost our tunnel out completely.
Yeah, they're going to be chasing at the tower, going into the underground vicinity. They do have a pallet here. This is not a god pallet per se, but it's a decent pallet. You can make something work out of it. Mind game's coming in. Ooh, but they block him off. That is going to be a down. And was that eruption? I heard a scream.
So,
that was eruption. Okay.
And we do see Nancy has resilience on our end, so maybe that pallet's a little bit safer for her, but does not win it, unfortunately. Going to be going on the hook. That's the second fresh, which honestly I think getting a fresh is not the worst idea. I think getting a tunnel out could go very badly if Ace has a good chase. It is a clown after all, not a very good killer. A little bit easy to loop depending on the map, and we do have a map with a lot of pallets, as we've mentioned before. So maybe getting the fresh isn't the worst idea. We get another pain res for it. So
I don't know if you caught that. I'm sitting here like I've been like Omega, like just crazy. The gen popped right as the pain res went off, and so it was literally like milliseconds difference. The gen finished right before the pain res came in. It would have stopped the gen that Ace was that got popped, and it went to Ace's gen instead. So I was just like screaming in the background when that happened. I can't believe that happened. But,
yeah, it kind of hurts on the killer end, huh?
Oh yeah, I know. The killer's just like, come on, if it had been just a couple, just a little bit sooner, if I had passed a little bit closer, like that's where the speed running tech come in. But regardless, no, you're absolutely right. This kill is not particularly lethal, but doing a really good job securing second stage onto Nancy. We see two separate generators being worked on, high progress, and Meg is sneaking around to get this rotation as, yeah, I'm about to say, Clown's probably going to leave as soon as they get to the stage, and yep, they're going to be going right for the other side of the map for the gen.
Meg does have to be a little bit careful about unhooking fast here, because we could go directly back to hook and possibly get that tunnel out. Nancy has dropped a lot of pallets. Ace has dropped a lot of pallets nearby. There's no pallets left in main building, and that pallet underneath main has also been dropped. Yeah, you see Meg kind of waiting a little bit for the pull. Doesn't want to get it quite yet. Doesn't want to farm our Nancy player too hard, and I think Autumn might not realize, maybe thinks that they're just letting Nancy die here. That would be huge if Meg manages to pull last second.
I was gonna say, actually, you hit it. You're absolutely correct here. They're waiting last second for the pull because now Clown's like, oh, I'll just wait. And yeah, making the Clown waste as much time as possible when they get their 2 gens for that is such a heads up survivor play. And the Clown went right into their plans. That was so well done. And you called it correctly. I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it.
Yeah,
now they're gonna take body blocks for him, but I think the survivors are more than happy to here.
Especially with Ace in particular taking the hit. Ace has already been hooked, already pain resed. If Ace gets hit the target switched onto him, then it doesn't really matter that much. We don't get a fresh for it. We don't get a pain rush for it. We're kind of without a lot of pressure, but that's going to be Meg taking a hit as well. I wonder if Autumn might have to actually switch targets here soon, because Nancy had Shack Pallet. Nancy can just drop this pallet and W key, and yeah, we do have brutal strength, but I know we see in the HUD another hit tank and another gen is being worked on.
And they even get the speed boost from it as well. There's the hit tank. The survivors are playing this so incredibly well. And I say, yeah, now they're gonna be switching off of Nancy onto Rebecca. And I think they're happy to give Rebecca because they still potentially get a fresh out. Doubling up that gen momentarily. There's eruption going off on the other gen though. Do they commit for it? Yeah, survivors are gonna commit. They're gonna go for the hook, and that is going to be Endgame coming in very shortly. Worth noting too, again, this killer didn't bring sloppy, which I feel like that's why the survivors are more than happy to give given hit tanks over the period of this game, is because these resets aren't nearly as bad.
That hook came in as the gen popped. That's gotta hurt.
Wait, you're right.
That has to hurt.
For reference here, folks, that did take a pain res token. That took a pain res token. That was a fresh hook. That took a pain res token, and it didn't count.
I felt that one. I felt that one in all the killer games I've played with pain res, and it's coming at the same time. Oh no! And this is gonna be a chase onto Meg. Our last fresh though. That's actually good for Autumn.
You're right. That's huge for the killer, and all survivors are injured, so they've actually got a little bit of a. They got a decision here. Do they come back in for that unhook and say, okay, you got 4 fresh, we can't leave 6 stages, that's a little bit too strong of a win con for us? Then I say they have time to reset potentially. You got resilience, you got doubling this heal. But I say, where's the other exit gate though? The other exit gate is right next to the killer, right? So I don't see how you get that exit gate here. Okay, hold on. They're gonna go for it though, maybe. They're talking about it. They're thinking about it.
I think they need to. I think that getting 4 fresh with this many stages is a very rough win con for a Clown on Ormond, especially if Meg dies. If Meg dies, it's even more stages, and that is going to be very difficult to match if survivors play it right and don't get too greedy. I mean, yeah, they're going for it. I think they agree with me here.
See what they have in mind. Killer is full up. It looks like the killer's just AFK there, but the killer is very much not AFK. Expecting survivor on the exit gate. I think they put the Nancy on the exit gate to make them a juicy bait. Oh, they're playing this really well. Going for Nancy. They get the pull. And then they just run to the other side. I think they actually get this out. This is going to be really, really close. Right.
Unless they manage to... wait, maybe. If they got a haste boost on Ace and Rebecca, but Meg does not get the haste boost, and it depends. No, Ace does a good job body blocking here, and we don't. That's gonna be 1 extra stage on Nancy at the very least, though, which is not the worst thing in the world. At least we got a stage out of it and didn't get both of the players out.
Okay, hear me out. Does Nancy have tenacity? No, they don't. Okay.
No.
I was gonna say, if this survivor had tenacity, that would have been one of the plays of all time. But no, you absolutely called it correctly. This is a... Wait, hold on. Was this survivor worth less stages or...
Yes. I believe Nancy was death hook and Meg was first hook.
Right. Okay. I got my survivors mixed up for a second there. No, you're absolutely right.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Ormond Lake Mine on the Clown. We have Vamp on the killer. Looks like they're standing still for a second. I hope that's not a problem, but no, they are moving into the map, and we are going to be looking at a 6-stage 4 fresh tie condition. Any more than that, 7 stages or 8 or anything else will be a win. For Vamp at least. And this is going to be an immediate chase on to Autumn Rue. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking this first chase is going to be a bit rough for the Survivor potentially. Ooh, swing and a miss into the back though, and they will be able to get to. They're not even going to go to the safest pallet. They're going to be holding W. Oh, looks like it actually found a different Survivor altogether and going for someone else. I'm gonna say every single time we've seen these trials, the first chase tends to go pretty decently for the killer, even with the Survivors dropping tons of pallets. But the first chase does not end up coming through here. Unless they found once again Sable and holding at the TNL, holding through. They get the slow this time. This will probably be a tag. Did the killer bring Sloppy this time? They did. I'm not gonna lie, the last time the killer brought Sloppy, it didn't go too well for the Survivors. I'm thinking Sloppy is the key perk here. It makes hit tanking. It makes, if you give any mistake tag, it is indefinitely punishing. And actually Sable, oh, Sable doing some work here at the junk tile. They will end up getting grabbed in the end. And this is not as much gen pressure as I would have thought they would have had for that chase.
Yeah, I think rotating targets from Ace onto Sable once again, maybe kind of affected that a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, we do not see a gen pop quite yet for that first chase, and we do interrupt this generator over here. Not going to be applying Eruption to it. I don't believe we have Eruption. But I don't know where the Survivor was working in this genway. I don't actually see them. I don't know if Vamp sees them either, but they are, looks like they're trying to stealth in the area, or maybe they already rotated to get the pull. I would not be surprised if it's the former, though, because Autumn did just get hooked, but who knows? And Kate getting right back on that gen. We hear her scream. So we do know that it was a stealth in the area.
Okay, we're still down just a little bit. Looks like Ace about to finish their gen. Fungmin also near on their way. So 2 gens for what seems like 2 stages. And no one's nearby. Yeah, this Survivor is going second stage. See that first gen pop. Second stage will be coming in. And yeah, they hear that scream. They know that it's going to be a 2 for 2 here. And if I'm being completely honest, a 2 for 2 here seems fine. Like, I don't think that one team has any particular lead over the other here, if that makes sense. As far as win condition, like 6 stage 4 fresh as a win condition, I feel like 2 and 2 for this kind of set is par of the course, given that we have like almost no data set for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a 4 fresh win condition with 6 stages, that means that Autumn is perfectly happy to be tunneled out completely.
Yeah.
And if we get another hook in Endgame, that's going to be 6 stages across 2 fresh, so it's not even going to meet the win con. But we do see trees rotating for the pull, and Clown is very good at denying unhooks like this. Trees doesn't actually go for it, which makes me wonder if somebody else is in the area to get it. Yeah, we do see Kate here. Looks like Kate will either have to trade or we're gonna see Autumn dead, one or the other, and it looks like Kate is actually not gonna go for the unhook, so I hope they have some gen pressure otherwise, because this might be a death at 3 generators.
They do potentially, and it looks like, yeah, I say they're gonna come in going for body blocks, and they might get it. I'm about to say I think she's dead here. They're trying to get up. Yeah, they couldn't get the angle on it, and so here's the thing. They didn't want to unhook initially, and even though they might have regretted it, it's because that is such a dead zone back there. Clown just bottle, 10 seconds expires, you're dead. It is a dead zone for Survivors as far as hooks go, and didn't leave them with a lot of options to go from. And they will take a tag, running away, and they've got 3 gens for 3 stages, but once Survivor's out of the game, I still feel like this is kind of even, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It really could be. It depends on how Georgie does in this chase. He has a good window to work with, but that is going to be a down. I say it's a good window, but at the end of the day, it is kind of a 50-50. It's like those windows on Midwich, right? In the classrooms, you kind of have to hope he doesn't commit to a side, and Georgie does go down for it. But they have some decent gen progress, though, I will say. A lot more than I expected, actually. I did not expect them to be this high on generators, given those tags that were going out near the hook, but looks like they do, and maybe Fungmin is actually rotating now to go for the save. We'll have to see.
I think they are. Good call out from the Survivors, but that's the other problem with this is now this is a very central hook for the killer, And now you can get a good eye on this one, but oh, good call. They are going to go straight for that unhook. However, they are going to go for Fung here, pushing them away. This one pallet's already gone. Now they're heading straight back to where that one survivor died already. Pallet, not using the pallet, surprisingly. That's interesting. I am not sure why they didn't use the pallet. Maybe just mind game. Maybe they thought they had the distance, but I say with agitation and that ball, they're going to get right back into the center of the map. That's what the survivor's trying to do, is bring them away, but they weren't able to. However, they do finish the 4th generator, but this is now another fresh hook in the killer's corner, and all they have to do is hook Ace, and that's tie condition.
Yeah, Ace is our last fresh hook, and Ace is injured. And we know that Ace, I think Ace just popped that gem too.
Yep.
So we kind of know the general area he's at, but is this Georgie? This actually might be Georgie, who is not our fresh. So
they found Ace.
Is Ace here?
No, wait. You have better eyes than me. I thought that, like, it was a dark outfit. Like, I didn't realize Kate had a dark outfit like that. Okay, I'm blind.
Yeah, but it's gonna be slugging, I think, for now.
Yep.
I don't know, Rue. This is not looking too good, but they do have the last gen nearly done. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel there.
You actually got the pickup already too. Interesting. No, yeah, that with everyone injured now, again, we're seeing the power of Sloppy come in. This is what I'm saying. Sloppy is such a punishing perk, especially on a map like this. It's hard to find resets. It's hard to find long chases, and just makes the game drag on so much. And like that, they do find them going down in the corner, and they can go for this hook. They can get one, and now the killer's sitting nice. Now you're in a spot, like, you may not 4K here, but you've got plenty of stages. Yeah, look at the gen progress. It's only a little bit past 50, and this, I don't think this is a pain res. No, they're going for one though.
That agitation is helping them a lot to get to that pain res hook, and is gonna be the tie condition now. We have six stages out on the board, and oh, that is the win condition. If Kate gets hooked there, I think a little bit hasty on the unhook. I don't think they expected Vamp to go right back to the hook. Yeah, well played.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know, that first hook, dying on the hook without getting anything for it. Maybe if we got the hook a little bit earlier, or prevented the Sable, our Autumn, from dying on the hook there, it would have been a little bit better. But I don't know. It's just rough pressure from the start. Autumn didn't even have a bad chase at the beginning.
True, it was a pretty decent chase, and like I think I even mentioned it, is just the gen pressure wasn't there. It was a decent chase. They a little bit, decision fatigue, trying to figure out who they wanted to go for, and it was in the end too late. Good fake here from the Ace, holding on, staying in the junk tile. This pallet's still here. Killer has not broken it. Vaulting back through and unhook coming in right as they go down. However, the killer has already secured win con, and we're playing for the best possible result, which at this point is actually looking to be maybe a 4K1, 4K0.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how far along that last generator was. I know it was pretty high progress a little bit earlier, but it did get pain resed. This killer does not have eruption though, so they can't really do any hefty gen regression on that particular gen without eruption. They only have pain resonance, and I think only one token left. I don't remember which survivor they didn't pain res, but
I think it was Sable. They died on that hook.
Oh, you're right, Rue. Yeah, so they can't use painters anymore.
But I mean, for not having eruption, the sloppy perk has definitely, I think, pulled its weight.
Yeah, and losing that 50-50, I don't even know what the 50-50 it's so hard to win. Autumn gonna be going, or sorry, Lexi gonna be going on the hook. And yeah, they're doubling that last gen in the distance, but I don't even think they make it. I think Vamp can get across the map in time, and if they interrupt that gen and see both survivors there, it might be rough. But they're not going directly to the generator. They took a little bit of a detour for half a second, so maybe the gen does get done.
True. and the survivors will be possibly looking at outs here. Kate splitting, going around the side, so they will have to take a choice. Looks like they are going to stick to the side, but Ace, oh my goodness, the pathing from Ace, immaculate and crazy. We'll get back towards the shack, and I don't seem to be having a little bit of trouble getting what is it, the antidote? I think it's the antidote.
I wonder if one of those two survivors rotated back around to get the door, actually. Yeah, it looks like Georgie's on the door now. Oh, he's on the door near the hook.
Yeah. They're actually gonna get a 3 out potentially.
Potentially. It's possible.
They took the long way.
I mean, Georgie has resilience, I'm pretty sure, so he managed to open that door in time. And yeah, that's gonna be a 3 out. You're right. I did not expect them to actually get all 3 survivors out of the gate. Oh, Georgie didn't have resilience. I don't know why I thought. Oh, it was possibly leader? Why was that gate faster? Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We're loading in for trial number 3. And okay, just a quick side note here. Did you notice that when Oni loaded in, they had their like katana over their shoulder? Did they have it like the pose that you classically see Oni in, with the weapon over the shoulder that you see in all the screenshots of Oni? Is that the default pose and then they render it as a different one? Oh my, okay. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Rue. I was mid-yawn and my eyes were closed.
Oh no.
So no, unfortunately I did not see. But I trust you, I trust you. I believe you. But we are already on Alexi. He immediately drops that first pallet just to avoid the tag. I think he does make this filler pallet here, this seawall, and is going to be greeting it surprisingly. I'm actually surprised he didn't immediately drop that pallet. Maybe he didn't want to turn the top side of the map into a dead zone, but will be getting hit for it. So first tag coming out at 5 gems. I mean, that was a pretty early first tag for this map, I think.
It absolutely was, and we do see the Splintered Hull. They are getting a little bit extra blood here with this chase. I think they'd be happy with taking a hit or getting it down here, but I must say, we might see the power and we might see them just leave altogether. They are running back towards here. The pallet's already gone from here, right? Oh, they actually run back, and yeah, but I say, if you can get it down here, why not? Oh, but the first gen pops. Okay, okay.
Christian pops. I'm a bit worried that there is a 3 gen. Yeah, it looks like there's a somewhat of a 3 gen in the carnival. It doesn't look awful. It depends on if there's a gen behind G-bot here. I can't tell. Yeah, there is. Okay, we have a 3 gen. It's actually pretty bad now that I look at it. So Alexi hooked directly in the 3 gen, and G-bot has power now. I mean, they popped the gen at the other side of the map. They popped the gen by Shack, and we don't really need to worry about those Shack gens. I'm pretty sure we want to hold this top side, so not looking too bad for G-bot.
Yeah, I will say that gen right there at the edge of Carnival could be tucked a bit more into that corner pocket, but it's not. So it's not the absolute worst 3 gen. But you're right, it's a 3 gen. He's got power. Like that hook is like trifecta in the middle of it. Survivors have an uphill battle here. We saw that Ace was working on that 1 gen. I think Survivors might have even identified by now that this is the 3 gen they need to work on. And I'm really curious what their comms are and what their strategy is to try and take this on, because, or maybe it's just ignore it until we have to deal with it. Maybe that's how it is. You know, like I am with my chores.
Oh man, I feel that. I wonder if they are gonna let Lexi go second. It kind of looks like it looks like they have to. Or maybe are they applying for a 4K1 win condition? They could do that if they think that their Oni player is up to getting a 4K1. But this is going to be G-bot leaving the hook to kick main generator. Somebody, I don't know. I think if they want to get past a 4K1, somebody has to stealth in for this pull, and it looks like Ace is kind of trying to.
True. I say Sable did get kind of caught here a little bit, running away, but that's going to be a down. Unhook will probably be coming in with Ace rotating in for that unhook. Like you said, they're rotating around. Jen at TNL pops with Eruption and now running straight back. I don't see it for the people. Looks like a Firecracker coming in, not getting anything though, and vacuuming into the pallet. Fang will be able to get a little bit of distance here. Not enough as they go down at the... Oh no, this is Death Hook coming in. and they still haven't popped those gens. They were still at 3 gens remaining. You might be right. They might just be like, man, we just need to try for a 4K one. This is gonna be such a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, at least okay. Gbot does not have power anymore. I think he used the majority of his power to down Fung and Autumn. There is a little bit of blood here, but I don't think that's enough to get a full power, as he was mostly in power for that heal. I mean, if you're trying to break a 3-gen that tight in a 3v1 against an Oni on Father Campbell's Chapel, when a lot of the pallets in the 12 side of the map have been dropped already, I don't know. It's not looking too good, I don't think. And we're not even in the 3-gen yet. We're still at 3 generators. We have 5 gens remaining, so I don't know. I'm a little worried for this team, I think, Rue.
I would tend to agree, especially with Eruption on your side like that. All you can do is, go around like, oh, there's a little bit of progress. I'll kick this, and, I can commit to anything next. You are right about the power, though. They did use a lot of it. They have to figure out where to get their next hit so they can try and get their power back. Main building has a little bit of pressure on it. Imagine this is the sprint burst survivor, but they mess up the sprint burst. They get tagged. Oh, no.
Yeah, about not having power.
Yeah.
They do have power now. That's gonna be a popping power onto Kate here, and Kate was next to one of the only high progress generators, I believe. So if she goes down here, if Georgie goes down here, that's gonna be an eruption as well as a pain risk potentially. I think we're not even looking at a 4K one here. We might be looking at more.
I think you might be right. We hear that Ace had this gen explode, so the killer knows where they are. That would say you can power through this. You've got aura rating. You know where the survivor is going. Oh, Ace gonna be forcing the pick, and I respect it. You do finish this gen, but it's like I'm gonna say, as soon as you see this gen pop, you can drop this survivor and go for the 4K right here. They're not gonna drop. They are gonna go. But how do you get this survivor down? Like you got your 3rd gen done, but they're not gonna finish the 4th one seemingly now. Yeah, Oni's content here. They're just looking around for the Sable. Now, if they predict it properly, and I don't think they get the pickup onto Georgie.
Yeah, Gbot with the excellent game sense, managing to find our Sable player. I actually wonder if she's able to pick up her teammate, though. Georgie is on. Okay, no, he doesn't really have a pallet or anything nearby. I think he needs to crawl to one to maybe get that drop, but there's no pallets in sight. A lot of these pallets have been dropped early by Alexi, and he does get the down onto Autumn. Yeah, I think this might be all she wrote. It's gonna be a 4K too, unless Trees manages to pull something out. Okay, unless Georgie manages to pull something out of his sleeve, but. Yeah, I mean, Bamboozle coming in.
I don't think there's anything left for the survivors to do. I think they were trying to get to this pallet and maybe arrange some kind of pickup, but like, what can you do? Coming up top, I don't think they had the lot. I say no exhaustion. That's 4K too, and we are looking at like that's a strong win condition for any Oni, let alone on Father Campbell's Chapel, which I don't think is particularly the best map for him per se. And so this is gonna be tough for Despair. Despair might be looking at a very tough win con just to keep things going, let alone to win here.
Yeah, we still have a tiebreaker ahead of us, as I think Vicinal did take the first set. And we do need to find these slugs. I believe a bleed out is possible. I think one of these people are fresh on the ground, but I mean, I still don't know if that's the best win condition. I mean, he's popping power to find them, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does manage it. It depends on if they crawled incredibly far away. That's going to be a pickup onto Autumn, though, and she is going on the hook.
I think I don't think they've actually hooked a survivor since killing Alexi, so all these are going to be coming in fresh. And power in hand once again. Yeah, I don't and if I'm being fair, like getting up late out here is a nice serendipity, but it's still gonna be so tough. Like having the killer hold to 2 gens remaining is going to be like, especially when the survivors know, when they know that all they have to do is stick the gen and make it work. It's so tough to come back from, but we will see. We'll see what happens. Actually, we might actually see a bleed out here. I thought the killer would have found him by now, but oh, you know what? I bet it's tenacity. What do you want? Bet it's tenacity.
You think so? It could be. It could be. Tenacity not only is good for crawling, but it's kind of hard to hear, right? I think the survivor's a little bit quieter on the ground, and Ace is already a quiet survivor, so maybe it's a little bit hard for Dubot to hear him. But I mean, his bleed out timer is less than 2 minutes now, and he could have gotten quite far. Not totally sure. Oh, he's on the hatch. There he is. He managed to crawl across the entire map, though. I'm impressed. He booked it.
It was tenacity. So, yep, they definitely worked it. And it was unfortunate because Autumn obviously couldn't like go on hook initially, so wasn't able to let them get hatchet. But oh wait, no, Ace had already been hooked once, so they could. It wasn't even a fresh. It would have. That was the ones if ever they could have bled out. But again, regardless, a clean sweep, 4K2 for Vicinal. And we're looking at trial number 4 coming up here very shortly, and it's going to be, again, I think this is somewhat of a tough ask for Despair's killer. Vicinal Survivor Squad only needs to sit gens, even if they have a crazy good first chase. I don't know if they can afford.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Father Campbell's Chapel. We have Georgie on the Oni this time from Despair, and we saw a 4K2 in the last match, which is a pretty tough tie condition even on Father Campbell's Chapel in particular, as this is a very survivor-sided map. I think it does tend to have some decent 3-gens though, so maybe Georgie can pull something off with this 4-gen, including main building or something like that, but we're gonna have to see some incredible Oni gameplay. I wouldn't put it past him though. Georgie is a very good Oni. I've seen his Oni before. But I'm once again here with Rue. What are you thinking about this win condition?
I'm thinking the survivors are making this chase last as long as possible, as we saw live through the TNL to get distance to Shack. Gonna be playing very safe. Okay, I say that, but that was a very, very last second vault. Oni almost got it. Bamboozle will be on that, and they held it a little bit too long, and that will be first hit onto Vamp, as thought they were gonna play that corner a bit safer, but they didn't go. And going long side, wanting to make as much out of this as possible. Actually, where's the blood?
Oh, he creates Shack Pallet, but he has a filler here. Ooh, doesn't
Where's
actually
blood?
Get that.
There, okay.
It's there. I think it's a little bit
okay.
Bugged on spectator preview.
Very bugged. I was like, please don't make us restart this game because Oni just stops dropping blood. Please no. Okay. Sorry, that freaked me out for a second. Okay, we're good. We're good. He has his power.
He does get power very fast though. Vamp giving away that first tag. I think he expected Georgie to double vault maybe or something with Bamboozle, which is possible. And was maybe playing it a little bit risky for that, but that's gonna be Gbot doing an excellent vault and winning that seawall there. Gonna be possibly taking it down.
Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say I know Georgie can hit this.
Well, it's weird because they changed Oni, right? Like the flick isn't quite the same as it used to be, so the fact that they're actually getting these hits is kind of impressive to me.
That is true. You know, I haven't actually seen any Oni scrims since Oni got changed, so I haven't really thought about that too much. I haven't considered it, but I think Georgie's gonna have to opt to pick Haruichi up now.
I would agree, and looks like they will be going for it. They get the pickup onto, or not the pickup, they get Vamp reset. And for what it's worth, the gen pressure is not where you'd want it to be. Oh, I didn't even notice it. Killer has brought Ruin to the match, which actually, for the win condition they need, and how, actually, yeah, if Ruin goes uncleansed for even 5 or 6 minutes, you can get some insane value out of that perk, now that I'm thinking about it.
I'm actually wondering if this is a possible win condition if Georgie keeps playing like this. I mean, survivors have made a couple of mistakes so far, and Georgie has capitalized on those mistakes excellently. Vamp has to play this Shack window really well. Shack Pallet is still up. He does greet it again, though.
Oh, but they headed into 4-lane leading. Actually, 4-lane leading into it is not the side you want leading into Shack, but still really decently strong. They have a tile to connect to it, and they get the pallets done. And Nancy giving him nodders, just saying what's up. Gonna be taking the kick and going back to hook potentially. No, they're still mind gaming this. Heal coming in onto G-Bot. Where the gen up top being worked on, and Ruin is still ticking away. So while they're not cranking these gens, it's just regressing this whole time. It's actually getting a ton of value. I don't know, like they need to make something work there in that chase. They couldn't, and that's fair. Sometimes you just can't get the hit, but doing a pretty good job overall. This is a lot closer than I would have expected it to be.
There's 2 survivors here at Shack as well. There's I didn't actually see which survivor it was. I know Ace is the head-on survivor. So if it was Ace, we might be seeing a head-on in a second, but I don't know. I think Nancy is experiencing the effects of bloodlust and might have to drop this pallet. No, it was Yuichi over here. A gen does pop. That's gonna be the first generator though. Georgie's not out of this. Yeah, he has a chance still, I think.
I would agree, and they take it through the window. They do have blood enough over here if they decide they can get their power going. And yeah, I think there was Yuichi over there. I think they're looking at the totem. Still might be looking at the totem. No, it's Ace over here. I thought it was the colorful jacket that Yuichi has.
Yeah. I mean, trying to get that ruin, I think because ruin has been affecting them so much this game. And oh, Georgie just got blinded by that firecracker. He was mid-dash and had a tough time avoiding it, I believe. Georgie might be aware of his exhaustion perk and possibly playing around head-on here, but Ace did not go in the locker. I don't actually know where he went. I don't think Georgie does either.
And worth noting too, oh, they were actually back over there. Wow, they actually rotated around. They do find a survivor. They got a little bit, maybe a third of their power left. They find Yuichi, but that's not the side of the window that you need to be on. You have to vault it, use bamboozle. Survivors are starting to really clutch this back. Actually losing them for a second, and I think you make it around to this window now. No, they went the wrong direction. Find Ada. No, but the power expires just before there's ruin. Oh no, it's all falling apart.
Georgie had a good start, but I don't think he could keep up the pressure on this map. And I mean, we're still at 3 gens. I don't want to count him out just yet. Because I don't think they have that much gen progress yet. We have seen, yeah, there's the head-on coming out from Ace. We have seen, I mean, a lot of resources getting dropped, and I do still think they have the potential for it, but there's no 3 gen, there's no 4 gen even. I think the 3 gen is, if you could call it a 3 gen, it's by Shack, but 3 gen is not our win condition. We need to hold 4 generators at least for a tie. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on if Ace gets hit here, which he doesn't. He actually makes that vault. Yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking, Rue?
That was such a weird looking vault to me. They're like, I don't know. I kind of agree. I think I don't want to discount them, but at this point, this game has gone on so long, and the way this back has been set up, there's the tie condition right there. One more gen and it's lights out. They need to get a hit here, and then they need to snowball this power, but there's the sprint burst taking them away. And there's the 4th generator, and that will be Vicinal taking 2-0 here in the playoffs against Despair. Like I said, it's just a great early start, and they had so much momentum, and then the survivors recentered, refocused, and just took every bit of essentially every bit of wind out of the sail of Georgie here and left them with nothing.
Yeah, Yuichi had that first hook in main building, and Georgie didn't really protect it that much, and it got pulled for free, and he didn't really get anything after that. I wonder if he was a little bit worried about generators popping while the hook happened in main building, and maybe if he had been a little bit less conservative with that pressure, he would have been able to actually meet this win condition. But it's so hard to know how high the gens are. True. And when your win condition is a 4K3, you can't really take that risk. But I think you needed to. You needed to risk it.
No, I tend to agree, and I don't hate the fact, because like obviously you have to play aggressively. You can't, like, if you try and camp a hook, you know the survivors are gonna be cranking gens, and you know that you're gonna lose 3 right then and there potentially, if depending on the situation. But I think you're right. They did interrupt a little bit. If we knew what was going on with Ruin, yeah, it's so hard to say at the time. Again, this might be one of those cases where I go back and I watch the replay again and see what's going on. They get the stun, and they get the Champion of Light as well. Pick up onto Nancy in the meantime. We hear the Janet Carnival is pumping. and not quite able to get anything out of the demon dash. There is a lot of blood here, so I actually think they're going to get their power back.
Yeah, it is getting hit as well.
Oh,
Oh,
my
never mind.
word.
I spoke a little bit too soon. I did try to get the blind as well. That wouldn't have been Champion of Light though, as there is a bit of a cooldown for that perk, and I don't believe it was back. But I mean, getting a blind is still nice, and it might be getting hit here. It depends on if Bloodlust got transferred here. It did get transferred a bit, but that is still a pallet stun on Ace's part, and we only have one hook on the board. I don't know. I think meeting the win condition was incredibly rough, and sometimes when you have to meet a difficult win con like that, it's just resulted in even worse win condition for the killer because of how they have to compensate to make up for the generators that they have to defend. And I mean, I don't know. I've been in that situation before, and it just feels bad. So I kind of feel Georgie on that one.
No, I absolutely agree. It's unfortunate because, like you said, the way to get the ending result for the game doesn't look nearly as good or close, but it's because they did everything they could to meet that win condition and play for the win con, and it just what can you do? It just, like I said, you have to compensate so much that if it goes south, it goes really far south. And again, to Georgie's credit, I don't think they played poorly per se. It's just they had a good start and survivors recentered, and it's like, all right, our win con's still very, very simple here. We're just gonna play out of our mind, and not much left. And again, they had some good rushes, they had some good moments in power, but just at the end of the day, wasn't able to pull it out. And well played, but Despair fought valiantly. Vicinal's gonna take it. It's a good match, though. I really enjoyed this.
I did too. I think it's interesting to see perks that I don't expect to get so much value, like Ruin. I think Georgie got a lot of Ruin value at the beginning of the game, which was nice to see. Ace got picked up by our Nancy player here. Nancy and Ace are both fresh hook survivors, by the way, so Georgie could still get 4 fresh here if he manages to get Ace, Nancy down. But I don't know where she went, to be fair. I don't actually know where she went. That's gonna be Ace getting picked up and forcing Locker. Oh my god, Ada was trying to block for head-on, actually. I think she was trying to block so that Ace could get his head-on and off in time and potentially get that fresh out, but it didn't actually work. Ace got out of the locker.
Yep, and that's going to be a fresh hook onto Ace. They are going to pick up right as we walked away from it. Survivors haven't left, which tell me that they wanted to get a 4 out here. And to be fair, they definitely played and could have earned it, but now you got Oni in power. I think you should have left while you had the chance, folks. Uh-oh.
Yeah, maybe they should have left, but also they've already won, so does it really matter that much? I mean, I think sometimes at this point you're just, I guess, playing for practice, maybe, and playing for the best result possible. I think the result is a little bit worse than it would have been if they had just left, of course, but, you know, you can always try. I don't blame them for trying.
Very, very true. And Yoichi, that didn't hit. Interesting. Oh, they're getting the pickup and immediately going right back down. Nancy, for a second, I thought they were going to come in and do some kind of window CJ, but...
Okay, that's just rude. I was about to say, I wonder where Ace went. I think he actually might have gone in that locker. I heard a little bit of grunts of pain potentially, but I'm actually surprised that his head-on was back off cooldown. Maybe somebody has Vigil nearby, potentially our Ada player who had Sprint Burst, but I mean, yeah, that's going to be the last chase of the game. I believe somebody is going to die here, probably Ace.
Yeah. But... actually, that would make sense why Nancy came back then, to hide the grunts of pain on Ace. Oh, they're gonna take Yoichi here.
I mean, they're kind of they're definitely having some fun in this endgame. I don't know if Georgie cares enough to enlighten them, but
are they trying to set up for slug race? No, they were waiting for the unhook.
I think I don't think Georgie cares that much. But we'll see. We'll see if they slug race. Yeah. They might. I think Georgie's gonna let them.
Georgie, you're a better sport than me. I'd be mooring all of them on the ground. No, come back. We have to see the slug race. All right, looks like we're just gonna do it here. Wait, none of them brought tenacity. That's a throw. Come on. If you know that you're going to have the slug race at the end, you got to bring tenacity. Wait, Yuichi's actually winning. How is this possible? Better gaming chair?
I think this might be the first slug race I've ever seen in comp. I don't think I've ever seen a slug race in a competitive match.
I can't say that I have either. I've seen, you know, teams give each other hatch after the, you know, the game's already over and it's like, you know, hi, he's my friend. I'll give you a, you know, a